Hi, Uber friends, my Lyft friends, my YouTube subscribers. I hope you're having an amazing day. This is a video where you get to work out your percentages and let me know if I'm pretty accurate here. So I want to tell you out of my experience, having driven in all of these categories, and there obviously were certain reasons why I got out of pool and why I got out of X. I had to try it out. I had to be able to report on it, right? So I had to get in there, and I still get tons and tons of feedback every day on tips, on general things in these categories, right? I'm right now in these last three here. This one, and this one. That's where I move, right? And when I say that out of every 10 trips, if you're bringing your A game, if you're doing your very, very best, 5 out of 10 of those trips, X trips, or Lyft regular tips should be tipped, right? So what that works out to about 50% of the fares, right? I said in Uber Pool, hardly ever, because this is a category where people are seeking the highest discounts and don't expect to be tipped after a pool trip, right? I'd like to hear your feedback on that. I didn't see many tips in the pool category when I took the pool trips. Now, in the Uber XL, it changes a lot, right? And I'll tell you why. There's a huge difference between, a huge bump between an X and an XL, let's say, vehicle. The one takes 4 passengers, the one takes more than 4 passengers, 5 passengers, 6 passengers, 7 passengers, and usually a lot of luggage, right? I found that people try and outdo each other, right? Sort of out-tip each other, try to sort of show, oh, I've got the money. So you generally see more action in tipping in XL, especially because there are a lot of hotels involved, a lot of airport drops, airport pickups, hotel drop-offs, you name it. And you're doing more physical labor, you're doing more lifting of luggage, and that usually gets remunerated by families traveling with their kids, let's say, to an airport. So there's a big difference, a huge difference, in fact, between your rate 5 times out of 10, my experience, to up to 70% of the trips that I saw in XL being tipped. Then when I marched up the ladder and I got myself into the Suburbans, and this is years back, I was driving a clientele. The trips were not as frequent, but the fares that I was getting per trip were way, way higher. And I felt like these people definitely had the means to pay more, and they did. And they also enjoyed rewarding hard work. I saw about 80%, and still today, of my SUV and black trips being tipped, right? In the luxury category, I usually jump into that if I take out the 750 BMW, which I use a lot for private chartered trips. But if I do decide once in a while, if I'm in that car or I'm going out to an event, didn't have anything to drink, and I said, let me see if I could just monetize my way back, and I switch on the Lux. If I do get a trip there, almost 90% of those people would tip. If I'd pick someone up around the Montage in Beverly Hills or the Ballet Hotel, they sort of like, to show their appreciation, and they tipped. Anyways, then I can assure you that with my private clients that come from referrals, it's almost a ratio of 10 out of 10, folks, right? And these are people that I formed friendships with. These people understand that on a $100 trip, there's a $20 tip. I leave with $120 at the airport, right? So 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, my private clients are tipping me, and tipping me well, right? Especially if I'm doing several hours for a group or driving the Foo Fighters around, or whoever it is. It's followed with big, big tips. That's why I like it. I can always rely on my tips with the TCP, limo license, the permit, in the Lux categories, and in the black SUV categories. feel like I can really rely on the tips there if I bring my A game. One of the biggest reasons I got out of the X category, and definitely out of the pool category, because I said, hey, you know what? My hard work is not being rewarded here. I am bringing my A game, right? I am doing this because I want to learn about these categories, but I know I'm not going to be in here forever. And if you do have a chance to offload your UberX car, if you could lease it out through, Turo or Get Around or Fare or hire a car, get some income, and maybe start looking at these last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories. By the way, the trips are becoming far few in between, less and less and less, but I do feel like it's pretty much on the same level of Excel. 6 to 7 out of 10 trips get tipped there. If you are creating logs, like I showed you the other day, if you writing down the trip, how much you earned, how much Uber took out of it, what your percentage was, your notes, what happened during that trip, and then you obviously have a field there that says tips, in-app tips and cash tips, right? Separate those two out, separate columns, in-app tips and cash tips. And if you have done, 10, 15, 20 trips on a Saturday, and you go through that, it's very, very quickly and easy to calculate how many out of the 10, out of the 15, out of the 20 trips you got tipped, right? And that brings in this percentage here. I just use 10 as the factor because it's easy to calculate. 7 out of 10 means 70%. 5 out of 10 means half of it, right? So your feedback is welcome here. And it also gives a good indicator if you bring your A game or not. The higher your percentage, I guarantee you the higher your ratings, 4.9 or higher, will get these numbers. If you're a 4.6 driver, again, no judgment. You're just going out there driving, making the money. You don't care about bringing your A game, no judgment there. But what is your percentage then, right? What does it look like? I can almost make a prediction here that the correlation between, right, the percentage of your tipping rate and your actual Uber or Lyft rating, 4 point something, goes hand in hand. There's a pattern. Have a great day. I await your feedback, and drive safe.